There is precedent for all media organisations and journalists in Europe and elsewhere around the world. This precedent means that any journalist can be extradited for prosecution in the United States for having published truthful information about the United States. I've just been with Mr. Assange in the police cells. He wants to thank all of his supporters for their ongoing support, and he said, "I told you so."
President Trump, who expressed enthusiasm for Assange and WikiLeaks during his presidential run, had a different comment this week. He said, quote, "I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing."
Big shakeup this week at the Department of Homeland Security, where the president made clear he wants to take a more aggressive stand on the so-called crisis at the border. The first victim is controversial Homeland Security Chief Kirstjen Nielsen, who is widely blamed for separating kids from their parents. Here's what she said last year.
Your agency will be separating children from their parents. And
no, what we'll be doing is prosecuting parents who've broken the law, just as we do every day in the United States of America.
I can appreciate that. But if that parent has a 4-year-old child, what do you plan on doing with that child?
The child under law goes to HHS for care and custody.
They will be separated from their parent.
Just like we do in the United States every day.
And so the question is, and the request has been, to give us the information about how you are training and what the protocols are for separating a child from their parent.
I'm happy to provide you with the training information.
Thank you.
The president seemed to suggest he was for the policy of separating families, but then turned around and denied it. He even accused President Obama of starting the separation of families, which is untrue.
New problems today for Michael Avenatti, the lawyer who represented Stormy Daniels in her lawsuit against the president. The state of California is now charging Avenatti with tax fraud and bankruptcy fraud. Avenatti has already been charged in New York with stealing millions from his clients. If convicted of all of these charges, the lawyer could be sentenced to a maximum of 335 years in prison.
This week, Lori Loughlin appeared in court thinking the prosecution only had a pair of fives, but apparently they had a full house. She was charged with new, more serious crimes, including money laundering. Mallory Sullivan has the latest in the college admission scandal.
New developments this week into the ongoing investigation on the college admission scandal from court this week in Boston. 2 of the 15 charged with money laundering are Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo Giuliani. Loughlin and Giuliani allegedly spent $500,000 in order to get their 2 daughters into USC as rowing recruits, even though neither of them play the sport. The daughters have since tried to drop out of the school, but USC issued a statement saying that every student involved in this scandal must be reviewed in a case-by-case basis. The parents are now facing a potential 40-year sentence, 20 years for mail and wire fraud, and 20 years for money laundering. Earlier this week, Loughlin, actress Felicity Huffman, and others appeared in court to discuss plea deals. One coach and over a dozen parents, including Hoffman, pled guilty to the charges. Prosecutors are looking at a low-end sentence of $20,000 fines and 12 months of supervised release. Loughlin, however, did not agree to the plea deal as she and her husband Giuliani did not anticipate that the charges would be so severe. The evidence, according to law enforcement, is plentiful in the case, including surveillance photographs and academic records. For Chapman News, this is Mallory Sullivan.
The Full House actress was dropped by the Hallmark Channel in the wake of last month's charges.
Costa Mesa native Kimberly Sue Endicott has returned home from Uganda after being kidnapped for 5 days. Endicott and her tour guide were abducted at gunpoint while on a wildlife safari at Queen Elizabeth National Park. Sources confirmed an undisclosed amount of money was handed over to the kidnappers in order to secure the pair's release. Ugandan officials say a total of 8 people are still in custody.
Los Angeles Health Department officials are warning Long Beach airport travelers that they could be infected with the measles. A traveler with the measles passed through the airport twice while infected, once March 30th and once April 7th. 17 people in California have been diagnosed with the measles this year as of last week. Officials say there's no risk of catching the measles at the airport now, but they're still encouraging travelers to get vaccinated.
Mourners filled the Staples Center Thursday morning, honoring the life of rapper Nipsey Hussle after he was gunned down last month. The first funeral service to be held at Staples Center free to the public since Michael Jackson's memorial 10 years ago. Musical performers and speakers told of the legacy Hustle leaves behind. Alexis Rodriguez has the details.
A powerful and moving ceremony celebrating the life of Nipsey Hussle, who was killed in a shooting in Hyde Park last month. Family and friends shared memories of the rapper. Snoop Dogg and Stevie Wonder were among those who paid tribute.
Long story short, we ended up connecting, we ended up making music together, we ended up making a brotherhood, we ended up creating a bond, we created something that was special.
I'm very happy that in his short life, he was able to motivate people. And I hope that it motivates you enough to say, listen, enough of people being killed by guns and violence.
Thousands turned out to the service at the Staples Center Thursday, honoring the life of Ermias Ashkadome, popularly known as Nipsey Hussle. Tributes poured in from family members, including a strong message from brother Samuel Ashkadome.
Never let the pressure sway you from doing what you want to do. You never let anything, the politics, stop you from coming around and staying around. And I hope everybody knows that that's what bro did. Bro stayed and he died on Crenshaw and Slauson.
Even former President Barack Obama poured in his support toward the mourners in a letter. He commended Hussle's efforts to give back to the underserved neighborhoods of Los Angeles.
Grow up and only see gangs, bullets, and despair. Nipsey saw potential. He saw hope.
Following the 3-hour service, a procession to the Angeles Funeral Home. The 25-mile drive took several hours as fans on motorbikes, in cars, and on foot crowded the streets of Watts, Inglewood, and South Los Angeles as they paid their final tributes to Nipsey Hussle. Alexis Rodriguez for Chapman News.
Guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I groomed the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
A DUI suspect is charged in connection with the death of a California Highway Patrol sergeant who was fatally struck on a freeway.
Sergeant Lacone joins a selfless group of heroes who have sacrificed their lives for the safety, service, and security of others. We are forever grateful for his loyal and dedicated service and show gratitude to his family for their sacrifice. Sergeant Lacone epitomizes what a CHP officer should always be, a dedicated and selfless public servant. He will never be forgotten.
Steve Lacone died after being hit Saturday afternoon by a car that was being driven on the right shoulder of the 15 freeway in Lake Elsinore. He was issuing a citation at the time of the crash. Suspect Michael Callahan is charged with second-degree murder. During his arraignment on Wednesday, he pled not guilty, and if convicted, he faces 15 years to life. A funeral service for California Highway Patrol Sergeant Steve Lacone will be held in Riverside on Tuesday.
A youth leader at a Santa Ana church was arrested this week, the result of an investigation into the alleged sexual assault of 2 minors. An 11-year-old girl told authorities that 22-year-old Jessie Francisco Hernandez Perez lured her into a bathroom and sexually abused her at Iglesia de Restauración Church in March. Detectives have also found evidence linking Perez to a second victim, a 14-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted while Perez led a youth program out of his home. Perez's bail was set at $1 million. Detectives suspect there may be more victims, as Perez was involved with the church for over 3 years in the growing investigation.
Orange County native Denise Williams is spreading kindness to the less fortunate through her Clementine trolley. Take a look.
This is Clementine. Created by the Community Action Partnership of Orange County and the OC Food Bank,
She visits neighborhoods in need to feed over 60 families a month.
Clementine is the first ever of her kind. She's a mobile food trolley. The food trolley pretty much is a grocery store on wheels. It allows the participants to go on site independently and choose items as opposed to getting a food box with just selected items for them.
The program launched with 4 distribution sites and is now up to 12. With the help of donors like PIMCO who want to be creative about food distribution, Clementine was made possible.
We didn't want to just give you a box. We wanted to connect with you. We wanted to be able to give you back that independence and make you feel compassion and take away that feeling of not having a choice. Most of the time when people come to Clementine, it's in a vulnerable time in their life, and we wanted to take away that miserable moment and make it more of a memory.
Clementine offers pre-purposed meals from local restaurants, fresh produce, and even has a convenience store with utilities such as toilet paper, baby formula, and dish soap.
It's been amazing. I think it's shown just such impact. I think it's also motivated other food banks to try to be more innovative in how we service the community.
Low-income families qualify as participants for this program, and the only requirement is that they have children in the home.
It's not just a grocery store. We're connecting with people. We ask them, how are they? What else can we do for you? How can we service you? And I think it's important that when you are an agency that's servicing the community, that we advocate for changing their lives and not just putting a Band-Aid on the current situation.
The trolley runs multiple times a week in Anaheim, Garden Grove, and other local cities.
Rising gas prices continue to surprise the nation, with California leading the way. The state's prices are averaging at $3.87 per gallon of regular grade gas, a big contrast to the national average, which is $2.76. At this rate, California will soon be the first state in nearly 5 years to see the average price for a gallon of gas to be over $4. Experts explain this rise is due in part to oil refineries' annual shift to summer blend fuels. They recommend filling up your tank on Mondays to avoid some stations' price increases before the weekend. Well, today we have Alexis Rodriguez here to tell us about the weather, but first, an exciting breakthrough in the science world. The first image of a black hole has been captured.
Yeah, so guys, this is actually a really huge deal. So they say it's like seeing the date stamp on a penny in New York while you're standing here in LA. Wow. So it's basically what scientists are saying. We're seeing the unseeable, which is really cool. It's more than 55 million light years away, several billion times bigger than the sun. So of course, it took them 10 days back in April of 2017 to get this photo. 8 radio telescopes synchronized, and then results were processed over 2 years. So let's bring it a little back a little local. So here in Orange, we're looking at a nice temperature of 70 degrees. It should be very sunny out there, a lot warmer than it has been in the past couple of days, and it's just going to keep on getting warmer as we see our spring temperatures going for a rise. So let's take a look at your forecast here. In Orange County, we're looking at very nice temperatures. Like I said, looking at our spring temperatures all across the region here. So in Orange, we'll see a high today of 75 degrees. Very nice. It'll keep on getting warmer. 72 in Westminster, and a little cooler as we move down into San Clemente near the southern part of Orange County. And in Southern California in general, we have Santa Barbara is looking at 75 degrees, 75 in LA, and 69 moving into Oceanside and down into San Diego. So let's take a look at our 5-day forecast in Orange. On Friday today, we're looking at a low tonight of 54 degrees. So like I said, as it's getting warmer, our nights will be a little bit more comfortable, not as freezing as it's been in weeks past. It'll be sunny tomorrow, 78 degrees, nice and sunny on Sunday as well. Good temperatures for your weekend. Partly cloudy moving into Monday and Tuesday. So we might see a little bit more in the way of a wind event on Monday and Tuesday. And if you guys have allergies, you might want to look out because the pollen levels are rising too. I don't know about you, but it's been hitting me pretty hard. And then also, if you're headed to Coachella this weekend, you might want to bring your sunscreen, bring your sunglasses, and stay hydrated because this is the first weekend and it is going to be a hot one. 86 degrees, 90, and 91. So stay safe out there and have a great weekend. That's a look at your forecast. I'll send it back to you guys.
Asian Pacific Islander Desi American Heritage Month has been celebrated every May since 1977. This week, Chapman hosted 2 events as part of the celebration, and I was there to catch the action. On Wednesday night, the hit Asian American variety show Asian AF was featured at the Student Union. Over the course of the month, Chapman and its organizations have planned several events, including this one, with the hope to promote heritage and identity, says Cross-Cultural Center Assistant Colby Ramirez.
When you think about Asian, there's a lot of different cultures that embody that identity. And celebrating our culture and celebrating the fact that we're Asian is extremely important, whether it's in the entertainment industry, any other industry.
Asian AF's mission is to spotlight the best Asian American performers, as it has featured the likes of media stars Margaret Cho, Ken Jeong, and Randall Park. For the group's founder Will Choi, it was seeing another Korean American improv performer that actually gave him inspiration to venture into the industry and eventually create a platform uplifting Asian Americans.
I remember seeing him and being like, I didn't know we could do this as Asian American. Like, I didn't know. I had no idea that this world existed. And so seeing him do improv really opened my eyes to like another world that I had no idea.
The following day, Taiwanese American Student Association hosted Taiwanese Culture Fair in the Piazza. The stations were set up to model a Taiwanese night market featuring several iconic games as well as artistic activities like calligraphy and Chinese blow painting. Numerous traditional performances were also featured, from singing to dancing. But it was the kids from Arborland Montessori Children's Academy that really stole the show.
Taiwan is a small island off the coast of China that a lot of people maybe don't know about or don't know the history of, and at the very least we hope that they can get a taste of their culture through this event.
We hope that everyone comes to the event and enjoy the Taiwanese culture, and they can plant a seed in their heart and they will enjoy either Chinese, Taiwanese culture more in the future, and even more they will enjoy learning Chinese language, and that will really enrich their lives.
I'm here at Taiwanese Culture Fair in the Piazza, showing support, repping the jersey of one of the most iconic Taiwanese Americans, Jeremy Lin. Chapman, with its nearly 13% Asian student body population, will be hosting 3 more events throughout the month, including Asian Pacific Islander Celebration on April 18th. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Pranav Iyer. Fun fact, the hyphen and ethnic identifiers, like Asian American, have been removed by AP due to it serving as a divider instead of what its original purpose was, as to include.
A poster hanging in the hallway at Dodge College is causing an uproar. The poster is for the film Birth of a Nation, perhaps the most controversial film ever made. Many allege it was responsible for the rebirth of the Ku Klux Klan. The 1915 silent film has been widely criticized for its racist content, but some praise it for its innovations in shooting and editing. Students and others in the Chapman community are demanding the poster come down, claiming it's a clear example of hate speech. Dodge College responded by stating, quote, "We hear you. We are currently having discussions with senior staff about these posters." In addition, Chapman President Daniele Strupa says while he has not seen the film, censorship in any form is bad. He added, quote, "That's not the way we learn. Instead of erasing, we remember, and we criticize and discuss and educate." A group of over 150 students have joined together in a Facebook group, urging Dodge College to take down the Birth of a Nation poster, stating that it's hate speech.
Coming up on the Best Campus Sports Show, find out why I'm striking out, and no, it is not with the ladies this time.
And what's got my grandma in a flower crown? Find out after this.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brad Benson, and welcome to the Best Campus Sports Show. Earlier this week, Magic Johnson stepped down as president of basketball operations for the Los Angeles Lakers. The news came on at a press conference on Tuesday prior to their last game of the season.
And then also I've been thinking about the great meetings I had with Jeannie the last couple of days. And, you know, I love her as a sister. And so today I'm going to step down as president. She gave me full power to do what I wanted to do. I would have to affect somebody's livelihood in their life. And I thought about that. I said, that's not fun for me.
The expectation was that Johnson was going to relieve Luke Walton from his head coaching duties, and with Johnson's departure, Walton's future is unknown. The Lakers released a statement saying, "There is no greater Los Angeles Laker than Irvin Johnson. We are deeply grateful for Magic that all he has done for our franchise as a player, an ambassador, and an executive. As we begin the process of moving forward, we will work in a measured and methodical fashion to make the right moves for the future of our organization." After starting 1-6, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim have won 6 straight. Mike Trout was a big part of that and was named American League Player of the Week for the first time in almost 4 years. Last week, Trout hit for .445 and reached base in 13 out of 18 plate appearances. In addition to that, he hit 5 home runs in 4 games, including this grand slam. He missed Wednesday night's game with a groin injury he sustained on Tuesday and is out of the lineup again today against the Cubs, and the Angels are currently trailing 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Speaking of athletes of the week, this week's Chapman Athlete of the Week is softball player Samantha Whalen. She hit for .500 with 8 RBIs and helped the Panthers to a record of 4-0 for the week. Samantha Whalen pitches for the softball team, so she's going to try to strike me out with softballs, and I'm going to try to strike her out with baseballs. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. You had a big week at the plate last week, hitting .500 and 8 RBIs. What was working for you?
My approach when I go up every time is to just try to make good contact, look for pitches that you can drive, don't go chasing, don't go out of the zone, and just try to put the ball in play and see what happens.
You guys only got like 3 weeks left in your season. What do you have to do to get ready for the playoffs?
Honestly, we're on a roll right now. We just need to keep going. We're playing well, we're hitting well. Everything's kind of just clicking at the right time, which is really good. And everyone, it's amazing to see everybody's contributing in their own way. We have people coming off the bench, hitting home runs like Tracy last week. So it's awesome to just see everyone doing well.
Well, you're in your final season and you're about to graduate. What are your plans post-graduation?
Next year, I'm going to get my master's in athletic training at Azusa Pacific, and then once I do that, just figure out kind of what I want to do from there in terms of athletic training.
Well, that was much harder than I expected. I only got 2 hits. Got to give you credit. Congratulations on the win. For Brad Benson and Samantha Whalen, this has been another edition of Athlete of the Week. The softball team plays a doubleheader today at 2 p.m. at Cal Lutheran, and tomorrow they're back at it at 12 at Occidental College. This week's highlight of the week comes from my hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico. The Ice Topes are the AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies, and shortstop Peter Mooney made a spectacular play that might help his case for moving up to the big leagues. Take a look.
People getting food and drinks and souvenirs, of course. 1-1. Bouncing ball up the middle. That is gloved by Mooney. Flips to second. They got the out. What a play. Mooney flipping to Rogers, who kept his foot on the base for a spectacular out. One more look at it for those watching on MILB.TV. A diving play and then behind the back in his glove.
Well, that's the latest in sports this week. I'm Brad Benson. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Corgi Beach Day has become the event for dog lovers here in Southern California. Jordan Gorman has the story on how it came to be.
And move over, Elwood. There's a new lawyer in town. Coming up after this.
58.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hey guys, Mallory Sullivan here to give you the latest news in entertainment this week. What do you get when you pair a talk show host with the royal couple? Well, a couple of things. One of them is a royal friendship. Oprah appeared on CBS this morning and challenged what the press has to say about Duchess Meghan Markle.
If people really knew her, they would know that she is not only everything that we perceive of her as being graceful and dynamic and holding that position, but she just has a wonderful, warm, giving, loving heart.
Another thing you'll get is a docuseries. Prince Harry and Oprah have been working together for the past several months to produce a series on mental health to premiere on Apple's new streaming service. The prince said in a statement from the royal palace that he hopes the series will be positive, enlightening, and inclusive so we can understand ourselves and those around us better. Mental health awareness is being brought to people's attention in the music world as well. 1 year after the passing of Swedish DJ Avicii, his single SOS was released yesterday by his collaborators who vowed to finish Avicii's work. The song is a part of their new album, Tim, dedicated to Avicii, whose real name was Tim Burling. All proceeds from the album will go to the Tim Burling Foundation to raise money for mental health and suicide prevention. Game of Thrones will return for its 8th and final season starting on Sunday night on HBO. This is one of the highest anticipated television events of this decade and is expected to break records for premium cable ratings. The next 6 weeks will decide who claims the Iron Throne in Westeros. While everyone has been expecting the end of Game of Thrones for a while now, no one has expected Kim Kardashian to become a lawyer. The reality TV star told Vogue that she'll be taking the California bar exam in 2022 to become an attorney. Kardashian won't be going to law school, but is doing a 4-year apprenticeship program under a pair of lawyers. Well, I guess really anything is possible. My chills are multiplying because a Grease prequel is officially in the works. The film, titled Summer Loving, will touch on what really happened between Danny and Sandy on that warm summer night in 1978. The script will be written by John August, who's currently working on Aladdin. Although the film is in development, there's no guarantee for a release quite yet. Something that is guaranteed is that it's officially festival season. Coachella Weekend 1 starts today, and I'm here to tell you how to prepare for it, but don't worry, it's not as complicated as you think. In fact, it's so easy, even my grandma can do it.
I'm on my way to Coachella.
What is Coachella?
A concert.
What you're talking about?
I know, it's another language.
Who's headlining?
I have no idea who Childish Gambino is. Tame Impala. Maybe it's an animal act.
Bad Bunny.
No. Maybe he's there for Easter.
You pay for the $500 to get in. You pay for your hotel, which is probably about $1,000, I'm guessing. Then you pay for your outfit.
Well, wait a minute. And all this to see Childish Gambino?
Yes.
The answer is no. I wouldn't go.
You need a flower crown.
I would rather stay home than go to Coachella. For Chapman News, this is Annette Gruen on our way to Coachella. Or not. Coachella. What is it?
Coachella.
Coachella. Isn't that what I said?
Noni will get to see artists like Ariana Grande, Diplo, and Childish Gambino, of course. Well, I got my flower crown ready to go, and I guess I'm off to Coachella. Back to you guys at the desk.
Disney's Adventureland entrance sign will be demolished as part of Project Stardust. The sign has been up since the park's opening in 1955. The removal was one of many things being done to bring more space to the park. The sign will be replaced with one almost identical. The difference is that it will stretch all the way across the pathway with attempts to relieve crowding and streamline the walkway. The switch is aimed to be finished by the opening of Star Wars Galaxy Edge on May 31st.
It all started with a Facebook page and a corgi named Mr. Pickles. Jordan Gorman has the story of how Corgi Beach Day came to be.
It's the biggest corgi party on the planet, and for dog lovers, a must-go and a remarkable time.
We just started just wanting to make friends. So we did a little beach gathering, put it out on Facebook. About 15 people showed up that day. The last Corgi Beach Day we had about 12,000 people coming in and out all day long, and over 1,000 corgis. So it's pretty much exploded.
And it's exploded with vendors, fun themes, and fan favorites like the costume contest.
Everybody loves the costume contest. My personal favorite is the limbo contest because corgis are short. It's a perfect contest for them.
But before the costumes and contests, this all started when Kelly and her husband Dan got their first corgi, Mr. Pickles, the inspiration behind it all.
He's like our firstborn. We have a human child now too, but Pickles will always hold a special place in our heart.
And for many, Corgi Beach Day holds a special place in theirs. From Huntington Beach, Jordan Gorman, Chapman News.
That's so cute. Pranav, did you go?
I actually did not. I'm more of a golden retriever fan. Shout out to my dog, Misty.
Okay.
Well, don't miss an episode of Chapman News. Follow our YouTube channel at chapmannews.tv and social media accounts at Chapman News. I'm Pranav Iyer.
And I'm Olivia Young. Have a wonderful weekend.